What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Hope everybody's doing well. So, somebody asked me the other day what my thought is on gun control, and I thought I've made that pretty clear on this channel, but I just want to make myself clear again. I am a Second Amendment absolutist. I do not believe that people who are alive today have the authority to rewrite our Second Amendment or to find anomalies in it or whatever people do. I personally do not believe that the government needs to be involved with any of our affairs. If you have a family member who is nuts, it is your responsibility to make sure that they don't do something stupid with a gun. It is your responsibility. We don't need red flag laws. We don't need the government saying, oh, well, who's dangerous and who's not. But the people who are trying to find ins and outs and saying that, oh, some gun control is okay, or if the government or a court order says that they can't have guns, nope. It's complicating something that doesn't need to be complicated. And ultimately, gun control does nothing. There will always be crazy people. If people want to get something to hurt someone else, they will get it. That's it. And in today's video, Trudeau in Canada needs to learn this lesson, because I don't know if y'all remember good old Trudeau. He takes pride in saying that he's a big gun control guy and that he's a fan of pretty much disarming his own citizens.
We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership. What this means is that it will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada. In other words, we're capping the market for handguns. We're also fighting gun smuggling and trafficking by increasing maximum criminal penalties and providing more tools for law enforcement to investigate firearm crimes.
So, we're going to take a situation that happened the other day in Canada, and we're going to see how that lines up with your gun control stuff. Okay? So pay attention, Trudeau. Also, pay attention, Joe Biden, because this is a place where they've done something that will never happen in the US. They banned handguns. So the other day, there was a couple of men who went up to a black SUV with automatic rifles. Let me repeat that. Automatic rifles. In a place where there is a national freeze on the sale, purchase, or transfer of handguns. They got an automatic rifle. Tell me, Trudeau, how is your gun control working out? How do you think they got this? Let me ask you, if these people were red flagged by your government and they still wanted to commit this shooting, do you think they would still be able to get a gun? I would say yes. You can pretty much get anything you want nowadays if you have the means and the money. So here it is. Really just shocking. I mean, this dude unloaded on this vehicle. Now, because there is a national freeze of purchasing, selling, transferring a handgun, do you think the people in the black car were armed? Probably not. Do you think it would have helped if they were armed? Well, depends on how much they've trained, but maybe. But I think the question has to be asked, Trudeau, how did these people get this gun? Do you think it's legal? How do you justify gun control in this situation? Another question that people are probably thinking is, what do you do if you are armed in this situation and you end up shooting the guy? Do you call the cops right away? My recommendation for everyone would be to be an attorneys on retainer member. Having self-defense coverage nowadays is, in my opinion, more important than car insurance. Having an attorney there when you call saying, hey man, I just shot somebody, what do I do? It's of the utmost importance, because nowadays we've seen it time and time again. Police aren't there to help you. They're there to investigate a crime. And ultimately, you're probably gonna get arrested and at least questioned. So the attorneys on retainer self-defense coverage, the biggest point is they are not insurance. You're not going to have a bean counter who gets to dissect your situation and essentially say you're guilty or innocent and will provide coverage if we think you're innocent. No. Attorneys on retainer, they're a law firm. meaning they're not bound by the law to have exclusions in their contract. The only thing they need in order to cover you is a reasonable fight for self-defense. Something that's not reasonable is you going in and robbing a bank and shooting a bunch of people. It's not self-defense. But they have bail coverage, 24/7 hotline. I've met the entire AOR team, just great people. The founder, Mark J. Victor, he's a Marine, great guy. So if you're with one of these insurance companies or you've never had any sort of self-defense coverage, AOR is the best in the industry, hands down. So we're giving you $50 off your sign up. The link and code is below the video. When you're in one of these situations, make sure you have somebody watching your back like attorneys on retainer. So I guess to end this video, I think the message that I want to get across to Trudeau, to Biden, to anyone who is a fan of even this much gun control. If you think that having gun laws is going to keep a gun away from a violent felon, you're nuts. If they want a gun, they can get a gun very easily. In fact, probably easier than doing it the legal way. If you think that having red flag laws is going to keep a gun away from somebody who is nuts in the head, because at the end of the day, they can go on the street and get a gun probably easier than getting one legally. If you were a person who feels like they need to spend the time even trying to sell people on gun control, you are oblivious to the major issues going on in the country. But until we have no more issues, I'm not going to spend my time on something that affects 0.0000001% of the population every year in terms of people who are victims of gun violence. It's probably even less than that if we take out the gang stuff. It's a non-issue in this country. A non-issue. So, for the people who want to talk about it or make it an issue, stop.